Joining me here today are Dr. Martin McCombs and Diana Motto. Both are with the Mary Magdalene Project in Los Angeles. They help transition women out of prostitution. And Dr. McCombs, you've helped hundreds of women escape the business, as I suppose some call it. And you've accumulated a bunch of really interesting and I think startling statistics. Let's look at them right here, and I want you to talk about them a little bit.
Sure. Well, the Mary Magdalene Project has been involved in this work for over 31 years. And in that time, we've learned from our own data collection and comparing it to others that about 100% of the women who end up coming to us for treatment or participated in any of our jail surveys have histories of significant child sexual molestation, about 87%. 100% of them will report coming from domestic violence situations and abusive situations.
This is why it drives me crazy when parents go, "No, we're fine now, we're fine. You know, we used to beat each other up, and yeah, I wasn't home much when the kid was little, but she can't remember that." But of course, this has a shattering impact. I think you call it soul-lacerating impact.
I do think it's a soul-lacerating impact. When a young female is being molested in her home, she's driven into two forced choices. One is to tolerate the situation and have damaged self-esteem for the rest of her life until she gets treatment, or the other is to run away, and then she's fodder for pimps on the streets.
Which is another thing I've noticed, that if a child runs away and stays away, again, approaching 100% probability of some form of abuse in the home. Also a lot of drugs and alcohol, is that right?
About 70% of them have some experience of use of drugs or alcohol. Sometimes that's because the experience of being a prostitute was so debilitating, they wanted to get out of their heads and bodies. Sometimes it was because of the drugs and alcohol.
So, Diane, you were a former prostitute.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Came from a middle-class working background. I think I just got lost in between the cracks. Grew up in San Francisco. Met a guy, and I kind of call him a boyfriend pimp because he started out as a boyfriend and then turned into a pimp.
Wow. So he started pimping you to other people?
Yes.
And were there drugs and alcohol involved in that?
Not in the beginning, no.
But so you used the drugs and alcohol to numb, to tolerate the lifestyle?
Yes.
Was your thinking disturbed about being a prostitute? In other words, were you defensive about it? Did you say it was something you liked doing when you were in it? I hear that a lot from people that strip and are in prostitution.
I didn't want to do it at first. I look back and think, why did I do it? Why did I go for it? Low self-esteem, thought I was in love, possible molestation in my past.
But what I'm asking, though, is when you're in it, I hear an awful lot of defensiveness by people in the sex industry generally, defending it, saying it works for them, it's a great way to make money. Were you thinking that way as well?
Of course. When I was in it, my self-esteem was great in the context of prostitution, in the context of that life.
How did you hit bottom? How did you finally change? How did you get out?
Hit 35, couldn't do it anymore. I just didn't know what to do, so I decided to go to school, and I kind of clawed my way out of it through school and through therapy.
You know, it's not surprising people will talk about that it's a positive experience while they're in it. It's a real subculture. Part of our challenge in getting our women out of prostitution and into a new life is teaching them how to engage in a better and different culture, in what they call straight culture.